comparative anatomy is interesting because a lot of creatures that walk on the land have similar structures. Like you can see the bones in our arms and the front legs of dogs or cats or cattle or whatever are very similar the way that they hold it. When you look at something like a horse, it's actually walking against fingertips because you're going to count for all the bones in our arm and hand in the horse's leg all the way down at the fingertips or where the hooves are. So a horse is technically walking around on its fingertips or on all of its legs, which is really interesting. Sometimes it can be tricky though, because if you look at like wings on a bat, wings on a bird, wings on a butterfly, I mean, they're all land animals that can fly, but they didn't develop their wings the same. Like a bat, think about it. How many feathers are on the bat's wings? None, right? Because they didn't develop together, they developed differently. So a bat's developmental or evolutionary line is different than a bird's. Birds came more from reptiles and bats did not. So bats are mammals, right? Birds are not. Birds are actually more closely related to fish than us, like with the cloaca and all of that stuff. If you took the dissection course, you know what I'm talking about when you dissected a shark. But the same thing with butterflies, very different. So butterflies actually have scales more like a shark on their wings. Birds have feathers, bats have skin. So if you look at the bat's arm, it's actually kind of like, here's the arm, and then you've got these big branches of fingers that come out. Birds are different. If you look at, well, I already talked about the horse, you can see the coloring. See the fingertips? Palm of the hand is the lower part of its leg. It's crazy. So when things have developed together, we call them homologous structures. So they have similar characteristics because they're related. If you look at the arm on a human and the wing on a bat, it's actually closer related than it is a wing on a bat and a wing on a bird because of where they came from. So the bird and the bat we call analogous structures. So it's kind of like the analogy and metaphor idea. It's similar to or like kind of thing. I'm not going to go into a grammar lesson with this though, except for quit using the inappropriate terms when you're talking about people literally. Like literally. I literally am starving to death. I'm not really, I'm figuratively starving to death. So it's the same idea with the grammar. But we could compare some of the things we looked at. So we just looked at the stomach of a dog and looked at his organ system. So we can actually put stomach back into number 15. And while we're right there, just grab your earthworm, number 16. Give it a clean. So dogs and worms, let's see how closely they're related. See if we can find some of the structures that they have in common. Nice. Okay, stage is down. Red, scanning objective. Boom. Put my image in the middle. Let's see how close I got again. Oh, scope needs to be on. Got it. Got it. Ooh, got right on the edge. I can see it. So close I can taste it. Well, hopefully not, since it's a worm. Right, there it is. Let's bring it over. Bring it down. Oops, going down. Cool. So that's a cross section of worm. Did say CS on it? Yes, it did. Earthworm cross section. So we can see some of the layers on the worm. Oops. All right. So here is the gut on the worm. I hope you can see my little hand. You can see the gut on the worm through here. You can actually see a smashed blood vessel up here. It's called the dorsal blood vessel. So dorsal means back. That means if we were looking at the worm, there's the worm's back up on this side. Okay, here's the front of the worm, its chest. And if we look closely, we should see, another blood vessel up in there, but we're looking for stomach. So this is like the intestine. And a worm actually has has like a crop. It has a different form of stomach than we do, but we're looking at the different layers. So we can see it has a lining. It has the edges, the bends, just like we have. Which is interesting. Dogs have them too. Lining the intestine. You can see kind of a thin muscle right here along the bottom. We have a gap. We can see another set of muscle. You can see another set of muscle. And then we can see the skin. So this would be like the 4 layers, because basically a worm is just a long digestive tract. Food goes in its mouth in the front, goes straight through it, and right out the anus is a casting. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Check it out. Let's go to higher objective. I don't like that we actually lose a lot of the image, but there we go. I bet those are slices of some of the dirt and minerals that it ate as a last meal. Let's see, zoom in on that. Getting closer. Sure. Yep, and then, so remember that pinkish thing up on the top right, over here, it's a blood vessel. Let's see if we can get closer. Because the way it's colored, it's not hollow, so it's probably still packed with blood. I'm going to get brave and go one more zoom in. Yeah. No, can't get any closer. Okay. So, but we can see the layers again. Outer layer of muscle, blood vessel. Oops. This is too close. So we'll go back. Oop. There we go. And there's a lining. So we've got outer layer of muscle, blood vessel, more muscle. You get this epithelial lining here going in. Let's see, if you have a major blood vessel on the back, you got to have a major blood vessel on the front. Oh, there's the epithelium. Oh, whoops, can you see that? So there's the epithelium, protective layer all around the outside. And then this is actually muscle. There's a layer of muscle there, layer of muscle there. Looks like that muscle on a worm. Is it all the way across? Whoops. Huh. He's just going for a lap around the, maybe. Oh. Not seeing the other blood vessel. There it is. It does go all the way. Sweet. But it looks like the earthworm has the same layers that we do. It just has this whole body basically out of those, because really what's a worm do? It eats and reproduces. Not much in between. So it'd be interesting to slice apart like a shark or a lamprey or something and see what their body layout is. So that was number 201. Animal tissues. And from here on out, for the 200 section, it's all about the different organ systems. So we have another on epithelium, so skins. We have another one on digestion, another one on blood and cardiac, so comparing different bloods of like frogs and fish, and then digestion. So we actually follow the whole digestive tract all the way down, and then we compare it again to other animals. So it's been a lot of fun. I love doing this, having a blast working with you all, and definitely remember, send me some pictures. Oops, that's the next section. I thought I had the QR code, but yep, if you can, go back to the very first video in this set, and there's a QR code down in the bottom corner. Just take some cool pictures and send them to me, and tell me how you're doing, and tell me if there's anything you'd like to see or something we can do. We'll talk to you in the next section.